Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this discussion today. This is a special opportunity for us as Antiques Polytechnic University, as partner to the Pavillon Maroc in the Dubai Expo, to organize this debate today. And we would like to answer or to contribute to finding answers to some of the fundamental questions related to universities and the new model of universities in Africa, and in particular in Morocco. Are African universities adapting to harness such promising potential of the African continent? There is a simple supply and demand equation at play. Offered with the choice to study at home or abroad, qualified African students overwhelmingly choose to pursue a university degree in Europe, North America, or increasingly in China. They are today the leading demographic of international students worldwide, estimated to reach 7% by 2027. Now more than ever, Africa's higher education is faced with the challenge of halting such brain drain by guaranteeing top-notch education infrastructure. Then there is the question of research, the other raison d'être of any university. Investments on research in Africa is still at 1% of public expenditures, a fact related by a modest 3.5% contribution to international scientific research. But there is a good news related to Morocco mostly. There are genuine sovereign success stories paving the path in reimagining Africa's higher education. Far from copying foreign institutions, these universities are adopting curricula, management philosophies, and operating models rooted in domestic concerns. And today we have those two examples: Morocco homemade universities, Al Akhawan University and Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. And we would like to thank also EPFL for joining the discussion today, and I will be introducing our guests. So to the left, to my left, Mr. Hisham Al-Habti, President of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, and Jérôme Chenal, co-director of the Excellence in Africa Initiative, which is an EPFL, École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne initiative, jointly organized with Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Morocco. And we should be joined remotely by the Vice President for Academic Affairs of Al Akhawan University from Morocco, so he'll be contributing to the discussion later today. So, first question to Mr. Al-Habti. If I can ask you a question about the model of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, how was it built? What are the perspectives and how it can contribute to build a new model for Africa and a new model for African universities?
Thank you, Khalid. So, first of all, I want to thank the audience to be here to join us for this event. It's a great opportunity for UM6P to be a partner of Pavillon Maroc, and I want to thank them to give us the opportunity for this UM6P days. So just a brief history about UM6P. UM6P was inaugurated by the King in January 2017. So it's a very young university. The main reason behind UM6P was to build an applied research-oriented university in Morocco to be able to tackle the main challenges Morocco and even beyond Morocco, all the African continent is facing. You're familiar with those challenges like the food security, like the sustainable industrialization, like the sustainable use of raw materials within Africa, and one of the most important and huge challenge is the training of the youth in Africa. So to tackle that, the one way to do that, and it was behind UM6P, is the research and innovation. And that's why UM6P started as a graduate university, starting with the PhD programs before developing some Master of Science curricula and now we are developing more and more undergrad. UM6P is a land-grant university. That's why we have our first campus in Ben Guerir that give us the opportunity to own a huge amount of land. We have another strategic point is which is having what we call living labs. So the living labs are full-scale experimentation labs where our faculty, our PhD students, our Master of Science students could apply what they learn within the university but on the field. So we have the Green Energy Park. A Green Energy Park is a huge platform in studying all the solar energy. We have the Green and Smart Building Park, about 8 hectares next to the university in Ben Guerir, where we are testing the new materials for the construction and the impact of the what we call the smart grid and the smart use of energy on the grid. We have an experimental farm next to the university, more than 100 hectares, where we are introducing some new species that are tolerant for salinity, for instance, or tolerant for arid zones. We have a mine, a full-fledged mine in the phosphate area, where our students, our faculty, are working on the Industry 4.0, the use of digital to enhance the performance of the mine. So if I want to sum up what is UM6P, so it's an applied research-oriented university with an access to living labs, full-scale experimentation laboratories, with a main focus on the African challenges, like as I said, like with food security or the sustainable use of mine, and with a model of excellence. Just to give you one figure, more than 70% of our students get scholarship and grants from the UM6P Foundation. Last but not least, it's about the innovation. So we have now a place called Startgate, which is a 3,000 square meters incubator, where we are hosting a lot of incubation programs for startups, not just from UM6P, but from all Moroccan universities. Those startups have access to our research laboratories and to our living labs. One of the living lab, for instance, at the data center, we have the biggest data center in Morocco with the most powerful high-performance computer in Africa so far. 3.14 petaflops. So the startups that are working on deep learning that needs a lot of bandwidth for the calculation could use this Toubkal, its name. Thanks to Toubkal, Morocco now is the 26th country in the world in terms of high performance computing, and Toubkal is ranked, I think, 98th most powerful performance computer. So I will stop here.
But the question, how is this making difference in Africa's education?
So normally the answer is obvious now that I give the description of UM6P. So for us to answer this question, the most important thing is human capital, is people. So how to attract, train, and retain these talents. So how to attract? The answer or the proposition from UM6P is to start with this top-down, or to use this top-down approach, starting with the research, very high performance research. That's why I'm very thrilled to have some of my colleagues that I here that are very renowned in their fields that decided to join the university, and I'm very thankful. But we know that we are lucky to be able to attract those talents. Thanks to that, we are attracting very high performant PhD students. Once people see that we have very great PhD students, that they are publishing, for instance, in very high-ranked journals, the fact to launch the Master of Science, people know that, yeah, if I want to get a PhD position, I should be good at the engineering school or at the Master of Science. And from that, the same thing for the undergrad. So the answer is we should start with very high quality in terms of research by attracting the best faculty, attracting the best PhD student, giving them the opportunity to do very high level, high quality research. And from that, and in addition to that, we have this start gate, we have all the incubation programs, because we are pushing them to innovate, to be even the owner of their startups. So with that, we can hope retaining them in Africa. And they are working on something that is very near to their day-to-day thinking, which is the challenges that Africa is facing. So they are facing. So they are working on something to sort out some challenges they are themselves facing. So this is a small part of the recipe.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Jérôme Chenal, two questions. Can you just first introduce to us the Excellence in Africa initiative? What's the objective? And second, not why did you choose UM6P to join efforts for that initiative, but what is the added value that you feel that this program is bringing to the African youth and to the African education in general?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for the invitation. In a few words, I would like to speak about Excellence in Africa program or initiative or project, I don't know exactly. I have my co-director right in my left. So this is a huge program we try to set up in all the countries in Africa. This program has three axes. The first one is to develop the junior faculty in university. We try to find young junior faculty, young professor, the best one. We just want the best one. It's so simple to say that, but it's complicated to be sure that we have the best one. And the idea is to connect the young African professor with a professor at EPFL. Not a old man, but a older man than the young professor. And we try to make a link between these two people, and we found a project in the university in Africa. It's very important. It's not to make some research. We don't want to make research at EPFL in Switzerland. We want to make research in African university. So we put some money in the basket just to make research and to develop the junior faculty in Africa, in the university in Africa. But the first thing for me, it's to develop link between two people, not two institutions. So we want, I don't care if it's in Congo, Brazzaville, or in Ethiopia, or in Ghana. We just want to work with the best young professor. That's it. And after, we will see, okay, it's a University of Brazzaville, so we need to have a contract or a convention with a university in Brazzaville. But at the beginning of the story, it's the link between two people. It's very important. The second axe in the Excellence in Africa initiative is called 100 PhDs. So we want to give a fellowship for 100 PhD in Africa. same history. It's in Africa, with the first supervisor is an African professor. The PhD is in African institution, and in this case, the professor from EPFL is only second supervisor or co-supervisor, and that's it. So it's for 100 people. We expect to have 200 and 300. We start with 100 for the beginning. And the third axe in Excellence in Africa is digital education. We try to help university to change the teaching from the classical teaching to digital education. So in brief, I can speak for ages on this project, but it's in, if I summarize a little bit, it's the three axes. And why UM6P? Okay.
What's the added value? We know why. What's the added value on the African continent?
It's
joining efforts with UM6P.
It's a very tricky question because UM6P invite me to speak, so it's very difficult to answer the question. For me to think, I believe that it's very important for the whole continent. If you want to go to Africa from Switzerland, you need to go with a best friend. And I think Morocco is the best friend for Switzerland. If I speak a little bit about geopolitics, for example, we will have US, France, Turkey, Russia, China, Morocco. So there is only one African country, and it's Morocco. So it's very important, if you want to imagine a Pan-African project, to have Morocco in the loop. It's the first thing for me. And we have some discussion with the Département des Affaires State of Foreign Office in Switzerland to imagine this kind of pattern. Okay, it's not a bilateral cooperation between one country and another country. It's a tripartite cooperation, Swiss, Morocco, and all the rest of Africa. It's the first point for me. And the second one is for EPFL. I don't want to give a name of country, but sometimes in Africa it's quite difficult to have a high-level institution. It depends of the country, it depends of the politics of the education in the country, and for this kind of program, you need to have people in front of you who speak the same language as you. And with UM6P, it's possible. We speak about excellence, we speak about research, and it was very important because when we speak with the president of EPFL and the president of UM6P, when they speak together, you need to have the same language. It's not a question of English or French, it's a question of politic or educational politic. So it was very important for EPFL to have this partner to be sure that we speak the same language to go to all the other countries in Africa.
Thank you very much. Do you want to add something, Hisham?
Yeah, it's about the value added. So Jérôme said the fact that if you want to go to Africa, you have to go there hand in hand with someone that speaks the same language. And as I said before, the reason behind UM6P is research. And I remember when we went and discussed with EPFL said something which is for me very relevant. We are good at doing research. That's why EPFL is, last year it was the 8th, I think, in the QS ranking, which is just terrific for a small institution just 350, I think, faculty, about 12, and very young because it's just 50 years old. It's not MIT, it's not Harvard, more than 2 or 3 centuries. And this is, as I said before, this is the main reason behind UM6P. The second thing is that we know Africa. We work a lot with African countries. So, for instance, for the digital education, the third axis of partnership, there are a lot of involvement from UM6P teams in the training of people in the African universities. So we leverage on our experience, our day-to-day with the African institutions to be sure that this partnership will be a successful one. Just this addition.
Thank you. Just I'll continue with you. Unfortunately, our friends from Al Akhawain is not yet able to connect. One of the key successes of one of the pillars for success for a research university is, of course, funding. And funding comes mainly from the industry. How does UM6P tackle this matter? I mean, how can you handle, and regarding your relationship with UM6P with OCP Group, how can you make of this connection with the industry relevant not only from a funding perspective, but also from finding the right subjects, research subjects that are relevant to the communities, to serving the communities?
Great. Yeah. So in my introduction of UM6P, I didn't speak, or I didn't give details about the founding and the funding partner, which is OCP Group via OCP Foundation. So we have direct. OCP is our main customer so far, main client so far, in terms of research and even in terms of executive learning. But we will just focus on the research right now. So we have a lot of research projects with OCP Group in different fields: the energy, the agriculture, the soil, the mining, the use of water, the use of analytics in the industrial performance, and so on and so forth. So to do that, we have research contracts with clear, not outputs, because it's research, so we have no idea about what we will find, but about the advancement. So each 6 months, there is a steering committee between OCP and UM6P faculty to see how things are moving. If they have if they are struggling with something about, for instance, the data or the access to some plants, and they try and they will sort out these issues. So it's giving UM6P sort of applied DNA. We are here to answer some questions to have impact on the P&L of an industrial player. So we are now building this capacity with this DNA, and now we have other customer clients beyond OCP in Morocco, and now even outside Morocco. So thanks to this hand-in-hand partnership with OCP Group, we are training our PhD students, our postdocs, in terms of mindset they should have if they want to impact positively the industry. And for me, as UM6P president, this is a huge chance we have if we compare ourselves to other universities where there is no link with industry. So for us, it's from day one, and we are now leveraging on this advantage. This is a huge competitive advantage for UM6P. So it gives us access to some fundings, but it's fundings based on research programs. Thanks to that, we are building the capacities. So we are now having other contracts with other customers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to take the opportunity to welcome Mr. Ben Sheikh, the Consul of Morocco in Dubai. Thank you for joining us today. Jérôme, I'll go back to the experience of EPFL as a university, like 50 years old, but it's only on the last 13, 15 years that it's been in the radars, actually, with a huge progression, moving from a classical type of university or school into, very innovative, ranked 8 in QS, etc. what's the secret of that? Knowing that you are a government, federal, Swiss federal, or funded by the government resources, what's the secret? How can universities like UM6P and like many others can be inspired from your experience?
So it's quite simple. The secret is money first. But just money is not enough. But you need money because education is a cost, research is a cost. So at the beginning of the story, you need money. After that, you need to have people, clever people, and the former president Patrick Ebicher was clever because he had only one goal: to move small school from small part in Switzerland to world-class university. It was the only goal. So he moved to US to say, okay, this is perfect. He moved to a French system. He said, why not? And he tried to mix US system, French, and Swiss mindset. And today, EPFL is a mix of these three models. And I think it's a point for me. Money, and to be sure that the model you use is perfectly on the line of your own mindset. If you go and at the beginning it was a French system, but for us it was impossible because it's a old one and you need some young people. And we go to US and we saw the tenure track, so assistant professor system, and he go back to Switzerland and he say, okay, I want tenure track system at EPFL. It was very complicated at the beginning to put in the Swiss law and the old history of Swiss university and say, well, a young professor just after a postdoc. A postdoc, it's a baby. We don't want to give a title of professor. I say, no, we need some very young people, and the tenure track is a contract of 7 years at EPFL, and you have 7 years to make the proof that you are very clever and you are the best of the world. And this system, I think it's very important because you can have a new generation of people and they are ready to work and they want to work and they want to change the world, and you take this guy in your university. But to attract this guy, you need money, of course. If you have no money, there is nobody who want to come to EPFL just, I don't know, because of the Lake of Geneva or because of the mountains. You need money, you need a very good context of research, because we know other countries and there is lots of money, but people don't want to make research in this country. So you need a context in the country that it's very, I don't know how to say, but you need to be sure that what you research is okay in the country, and you can continue and you can move if you want, and you are totally free to do what you want. And for example, and it's very important, professor at EPFL, one professor is one laboratory, and we have money for the laboratory. So I get money from EPFL and I do what I want with this money. I have nothing to, I don't have to ask people. In my case, for example, I have money, and if I want to go to Dubai, I go to Dubai. There is no check at the end. I don't have to ask people to go to Dubai. But at the end of the day, they will see what I have in my basket. how many publications, how many projects, how many PhD students. And if I have nothing, so thanks a lot, see you then, and goodbye. And that's it. It's so simple. You give money to people, you give freedom, and at the end of the year, you take your decision. And every year you make the same. And I think it's this kind of conception that it works in at EPFL, and in one of the reasons why we go from a small school in Switzerland to a world-class university.
Thank you. And just to continue in the same perspective, you've been working with a lot of African universities. Do you think that the same model is duplicable in other African universities? You talked about the Swiss culture and, you know, very straightforward, very assez carré. So
yeah,
we'll be politically correct. Don't worry. You can.
No. I don't know if it's because the EPFL model is between US, French, and Swiss. So if I go to Brazzaville, why Swiss and French and US model? So we have to imagine what is the best model for your university. But one thing for me, and I know a lot of French-speaking university, so we need to move from the French model to another model. And we need really, because for example in Africa we have the CAMES for the graduation of professor, and it's not possible anymore to have this kind of graduation. So you need to introduce, I don't know, a tenure track or this kind of thing. But for me, it's not to just to copy a model. It's just to take what you need and you make your own model. And I think we even if UM6P is very close to EPFL, but it's American model. It's not a Swiss, and it's not just the same as EPFL. It's close to EPFL model, but it's not the same. Hopefully, it's not the same. Because if it's exactly the same, it will fail. I'm sure. And no, you can't. You need to have a US, French, Swiss, and Morocco, and you need to make your market. You go and you take what you imagine it's good for you. And after you make your menu, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Same question for you, Hicham. Can we duplicate the model of UM6P or EPFL in African universities, knowing that there is a legacy, knowing that there is a,
So I think we can share our experience, because we take the example of EPFL. It's a huge change in less than 20 years, but they found their ways as Jérôme described. It's the same thing for UM6P. We are just learning. We have a lot of faculty coming from very different backgrounds, from the US, from Canada, from France, from Germany, from Asia, and everyone has or was in some very specific operating model, and they found themselves in one place, in Ben Guerir or in Rabat, and they need, and we need it, because it's a collaborative work to invent our own model. And I think it's a huge opportunity for all of us to develop this innovative model. And it's a greenfield university. So we are all building from scratch. And yeah, there are some rules in Morocco. This is the law. We need the labor law. So we need to respect that. We cannot do as is the model of tenure track from the US in Morocco. It's just impossible. But if the philosophy of the tenure track is very good, so can we implement the philosophy by respecting our labor law? Yeah, the answer could be yes. But we have to invent that, because it doesn't exist. For instance, for the postdoc, Now we have a framework for the postdocs. It wasn't the case 5 years ago. So for the African universities, as we are doing right now in Morocco, is to see what is the best in each model. There are pros and cons in each model. So everyone must do his or her homework to invent collectively an operating model that suits the culture, the type of faculty we have. If we have 100% of our faculty coming from France, we cannot just put them in a new system operating model that is far from what they have known for 20 or 30 years. But here, in our case, we have about, I think, more than 20 nationalities at UM6P. And as I said, everyone's coming from very different backgrounds. So now we are working. It's not that easy. It's very tough. It's very tough to find one common operating model. But there are some guiding principles we must respect, like the freedom of the faculty. It doesn't depend on the law. Or on this, we should guarantee this freedom of doing research, of doing education. For me, and it's the link between the research and education is very important if we want to be sure that we are on the right path. In terms of the choice of the student, if we want to do great research, we need very good students. So how could we guarantee? Those are guiding principles. They don't depend on the law or on the culture. So for me, each African universities must do its homework by defining what are the most relevant guiding principles for its operating model.
But just to add something, maybe I forget to speak about ecosystem, because if you speak only about teaching or research or innovation, it's difficult, and we try to put together innovation, research, and teaching, learning, to put together to create kind of ecosystem. And I think it's a point, and we share this kind of point between UM6P and EPFL, because it's very important. And I think there is lots of very famous school in France, for example, but it's only learning school. And the model for me, it's a US model between research and school, and we make some innovation, and we have, for example, in Lausanne, we have the innovation park with lots of very big companies. We have Nestlé, we have Logitech, OCP Group, and this kind of company, to be very close to university and to share some research, and to be sure that the best student will be the best PhD student and the best postdoc, and we will have the best research together. And the very big difference, and we have it's a common point between UM6P and EPFL. We don't have a big company with EPFL. It's a public money from the Swiss government, but the first goal of EPFL, it's to produce engineer and research for economy, and that's it. So there is a clear link between a company and a university. If you go to other university in Switzerland, and if you speak about company, you say, oh, Nestlé would like to, oh, no, company, this is university, and company has to stay outside university. It's the opposite with EPFL, and say, okay, you're welcome. if you want. So if there is some very a big boss from company, welcome to EPFL. We want to imagine how to work together, of course.
Thank you, Jérôme. We are talking about the innovative model for African universities, and today the digital is becoming more and more, after the pandemic, etc. It's now the new normal is digitalized. Is education a good part of it is digital? How does UM6P answer to that, or how does it bring solutions to either to its students, but also to enlarge the reach of its education to the African continent?
From day one. We have our friend from Akhawain.
Yes.
Yeah, good. So I will answer the question, and I think the floor will be his. So for the digital education from day one, and even before COVID, way before COVID, UM6P decided to invest on digital education by building at the time 2 studios, cutting-edge technologies, and we trained our people at EPFL, MIT, and one other university I think in the Netherlands. And in 2018, we decided to invest in 2 more studios. And in March 2020, COVID, lockdown, and everyone in Morocco was very happy that we had 4 studios that were used by our faculty, but especially with the professors from the Ministry of Education in Morocco, and they worked 24 hours a day to produce content that were shared with the Moroccan students through TV. So for us, and we were working on some projects, but thanks to COVID, it was a huge acceleration for us. And as we have this public good in our DNA, we decided to share our experience with the 12 public universities in Morocco. So right now, every public university in Morocco has its own digital learning lab, where our team, our UM6P team, has done great work in 6 months. Now Morocco, the Moroccan universities are able to produce 100% Moroccan content for all the students in Morocco. So thanks to COVID, because we need to say some positive things about this pandemic. For me, the only thing is that everyone now is aware of the importance of this digital. I'm very happy to have 2 of our students here just in front of me that are following our online MBA. So thanks to that, we develop online MBA, and we have people even from Dubai following this MBA it's an ongoing program done by our faculty of our Africa Business School. Now, for us, the model is a hybrid model, perhaps a lot of online, but we need to see and to discuss with the students. So the campus, if we have 100 rooms, we could have not just 100 students, but perhaps 1,000 students. So we can build and leverage on some assets to have a huge impact. So instead of reaching 1 student, we can reach out to 10, because we will have offline or online content, but I think the interaction between the professor and the students is a must in this learning curve. So now we are aware. It wasn't the case before COVID. For us, 100% digital education was good. I think we could improve the quality of the learning thanks to this from time to time connection.
Just a few words. I asked my student. I had a course with last week with 160 students in the room, and say, okay, because for me it was okay to give my course online. It was easier because I am at home, and it's quite easy. At the end, I need only 2 minutes to go from my office to my kitchen, so it's okay. And I ask the student, I say, okay, what do you want? Online, hybrid, or do you want to come here? And everybody said, we want to come here. I said, really? Every day? Yes. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day? Yes. Okay. So we need to discuss about this kind of thing, because it was very young student, first year, and after maybe it was bachelor student, maybe master student, it's a little bit different. But when you ask your student, they want to be on campus. They want to be in the room with the professor. And I say, yeah, but for me, it's more complicated, because I have to come, and it takes time to come to the campus. But so we need to discuss this, because there is a gap, in my opinion. There is a gap between student and professor in this subject.
Thank you, Jérôme. I don't know if Dr. Chris Taylor is still with us. Yes. Hello, Dr. Taylor.
How are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Can you hear us well?
Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well now.
Very good.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you today? Good.
Thank you for joining us. We can see you very well, and thank you for having Al-Akhawain University also participating in this discussion. So, in a nutshell, I can just summarize some of the key points that have been highlighted during the first part of the meeting of the conference. We're talking about the innovative model for African universities. We're talking about the case of UM6P as a research university. We're talking also about the experience of EPFL as a model, École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, in which the junction between university and the industry is very important. And Jérôme was telling us that the funding is a key point, but also the freedom of the professor and of the researcher is key to make sure that there is accountability, but there is also result. Okay, so the case of Al-Akhawain University, and we have some of your alumni in the room. I know at least 3 who are around here from AUI alumni. The question for Al-Akhawain, which is a liberal arts university by choice, it's focused on education. What is your experience that you think can be extrapolated to the African continent and can help in making a new innovative universities model for the African youth?
Very good. Well, first of all, thank you, and greetings to everyone there in person, to our alumni and everyone else. Greetings from Ifran. So, I would start by saying that, we're obviously, I'm just looking at this book. You can all see this is a global phenomenon. The massive transformation underway. This is not because of COVID. I believe it started really in the mid-1990s. The first shock to higher education, I think, was the 2008-2009 recession, the Great Recession, and COVID was the second great shock, which is finally pushing us where I think the future lies anyway, which is in a future that incorporates all the things that you've been talking about. I think hybrid learning, face-to-face learning. I mean, one of the things we did learn from COVID is that all online is not the way of the future, probably, and all in person is probably not the way of the future. But a hybrid, I think, of mixing. I can see a future where students at Akhawain will start their morning with a class, maybe in calculus or something like that, and then they'll have a cup of coffee, and then they'll jump online and have a class in Australia or in California or in Paris or wherever, and then they'll have lunch, and then they'll go back to another classroom on campus. And so I think that we're going to be looking at a future which really integrates in person as well as online. My sense of it is that college education is doesn't only take place in a classroom. It's all the other parts that take place outside of the classroom, which are integral to the experience, which is why I don't think it can be completely online. And so I think we're very much looking at a future which is blended. of both online and in person.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you just tell us a little bit about the particularities of Al-Akhawain model, Akhawain educational model, just in a nutshell, please?
Yes, absolutely. So Al-Akhawain is obviously a Moroccan university, but it's inspired by an American model, which is the liberal arts model, as you said. The liberal arts model, the American liberal arts model, is based on the idea that the best undergraduate education consists of a broad, it's in the shape of a T, so a broad horizontal bar, which is a general education, a wide general education, and then depth in a particular major. We believe that an engineer who also studies poetry is a better engineer. A poet who studies engineering is a better poet. And so the general education program represents the broad cross-section of knowledge, and then students obviously major in a particular field. We believe that this prepares people for critical thinking, outside the box thinking. We live in a world where our students will be probably have somewhere between 5 and 8 careers, not professions. I mean, not different jobs, but different professions over the course of their lives. Many of our students are going to be in careers that do not exist today. Our students were born into a world in which there was no Facebook. So we believe that this kind of educational model is the best one to prepare students for a dynamic world in great flux as we're seeing today.
Thank you very much. Maybe my last question to you, Hisham, before turning to the audience so we can prepare your questions already. We're talking about the collaboration between the public and the private sector. How can this would be a contributor to creating or to developing universities that will be more performing? Because we're talking here about, especially in Africa, old universities, much more of a big number of students, because it answers to a real problematic in every country, is making kind of buffer between high school and the job market. But so how can you see this collaboration between private and public to make sure that universities keep being performing?
So I think, as Jérôme said about the fact that the industry is more than welcome at the level of, for instance, our university or EPFL or other private universities. So the fact that the industry is more than welcome, we have a clear idea about the expectations and about the trends of the jobs of tomorrow. So we can build, if we're good in working hand in hand with this industry, to see and what are the main curriculum we could develop. This experience, we could share it with the public universities, for instance, so they can update it, they can adapt their curriculum to the fact that we are, by definition, closer to the industry, so to the employment market and to the job market. So they can see that. The second thing is that we don't have the same number of students between public universities and private, for instance, private universities. 100,000 students is not 2,000 or 3,000 students. So we can develop more agile ways or be more innovative. And for me, this innovative approaches should be considered as a good, as a public good. So we need to share them with the others. It was the case for us in terms of digital education, because everything we've done within UM6P was shared, transferred to the public universities. Even the training of people from the public universities was held at the level of UM6P for, I think, 2 or 3 days. So we need to share, because at the end of the day, public or private, we have the same objective. We don't have the same constraints, as I said. The public universities in Morocco, more than 100,000 students. It's not the same thing that 3,000 or 4,000. So, but we need to keep in mind that we are working on the same thing, which is, as you mentioned, we are a buffer between the high school and the job market. So, and at the end of the day, it's the image of the university as a whole. People won't distinguish between the two. So we need to keep that in mind, and we need to be in a share mode with the best practices with the others.
Thank you very much. Maybe my last question to you, Jérôme, and it will be the same for Dr. Taylor also. Brain drain. You're hosting, I don't know how many number of international students at EPFL.
120.
10%, let's say.
Yeah.
120 or 1,000?
120 nationality at EPFL.
Okay.
And approximately 0.5% of the students are from abroad.
Okay. So what's your vision regarding this brain drain that everybody's accusing the EU of like taking the best students and keeping them there and making them work for there? I mean, it's a personal choice for sure, but don't you think that there is a role for universities to help in, sending back the students to their countries to contribute to its development?
It's a very tricky question because in Switzerland we have some very the right wing of the political scene said that it's very expensive because we need approximately 55,000 for a student per year. Euros. So it's a lot. And the question in Bern, in the city capital, is why we have to pay this money for a guy coming from Morocco. So it's the public, it's my taxes pay for the education in Morocco. For me, it's okay. But for a part of the population in Switzerland, it's quite difficult to imagine. And this is the point. If I listen to the right wings, they say we have to stop, it's only for Swiss people, and if you want to come from another country, you have to pay a lot. But we say no, it's a question of excellence, and it's the role of the university to give the chance to everybody to be part of this excellence. So, for right now, it's okay between the left and the right wings in politics, but it's a very tricky thing. And in my own opinion, I think I want to give you an example. We are very proud with the new Ministry of Digital. I don't know exactly the title in English, but there is a ministry in Morocco, and this ministry is alumni from EPFL. So we did a great job, and it's for me it's fair because it's not a brain drain because she go back to Morocco. She come from Switzerland, and now she will come to Switzerland to visit EPFL, and maybe we want to make some project together. And for me, it's the way the world works. And it's not a question to, no, the best people has to come to Switzerland. Sometimes they stay in Switzerland, sometimes they go to US, sometimes they go to Morocco. And we don't want to know exactly if it's fair or not, but at the end, we know that it's okay. Because even if the guy go back to his country, and we expect he go back to his country, we want to make some project with the guy. And if he stay in Switzerland, he want to make a great job in Switzerland. So we win on the two, two picture. So for me, it's okay. But sometimes, of course, it's difficult because it depends on the country you come. And sometimes it's impossible to go back to your country, of course. But me, I come from a small part in the north of Switzerland. But I can go back to my small part of Switzerland because there is no university, and what I want to do. It's impossible, and it's the same with the country. But inside the country, the same with the region. And I'm not from Lausanne, but I have to stay in Lausanne because there is only one EPFL, and it's in Lausanne. So I can go back to my own country, even if it's in Switzerland. So it's the same with the country, and sometimes you can go back, but if there is no possibility to go back, what we want to do? It's not my problem. It's a problem of the country. And if you are very good, come to my place, and we will make some business together.
Okay, thank you. Is Dr. Taylor still with us?
Yes, I am.
Yes, no?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Can we have him on the screen, please? Est-ce qu'on peut l'avoir sur l'écran avec? Ah, voilà. Here we go. That's good. So, yeah, what's the perspective of Akhawain in this regard? I mean, I know that you have, I think, 25% of your alumni who are already abroad, either for work or higher education. Do you think that universities like AUI, like UM6P, can play this role of retention or of at least offering opportunities for the young Moroccans to come back to the country?
Absolutely, I think we can, and our goal is obviously to offer a world-class education in Morocco, as I think it's also the plan of UM6P, and I think that to a large extent we're able to do that because and as the previous speaker was saying, we want our graduates to be truly global citizens and be able to move across borders with ease. I think we have something like 600, at least 600. Of our alumni are in the Gulf right now, but many of them come back here to Morocco and then they go and work in Canada and they work in Côte d'Ivoire and they work all over the place. So I think that we really are trying to train a citizen, a Moroccan citizen, but one who can travel all over the world and who has the skills to succeed anywhere in the world. And I think that we are the fact that 25%, so 75% of our graduates are in Morocco now. And as I said, many of them spend time abroad, but then they come back to Morocco. So I think they really feel totally comfortable wherever they are working. And that's really our goal. Our main focus is on offering a world-class education right here in Morocco. And I think that actually does help retention in Morocco, helps prevent the brain drain, but also, I mean, we're also attracting citizens of many countries, African countries as well as European and North American and even Asian. So I think that that's the way we look at the world as a global. It's really a globalized world right today. So.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. The room is open for questions. Yes, we start by Amal, and then
a very short question. Thank you for your talks, and I'm a little bit stunned by this trial to the French system. I have one question. The excellence in Morocco was embodied for many decades by people coming from, look at just around you, you can see people coming from France. Also, people working in EPFL come from France. So I think it's not fair what you said. I understand that your job is to defend EPFL here, but it was too much for me. Sorry. If we look to the top management of OCP or the president of UM6P, they are not coming from EPFL, they are coming from Polytechnic or Point Chaussée, and I had the chance to discuss with people here in the room, and most of them are coming from high schools in France. So I think you should make un peu d'eau dans votre vin, parce que ça sera plus sympathique pour tout le monde. So this is just one remark. The second one, if you give us two examples of people, alumni from EPFL, in France we say, c'est l'exception qui confirme la règle. you have only two. So, and okay, no, just not polemic, but okay. You talk about innovation, and you know in Europe there are too many institutions for innovation. Carnot in France and Fraunhofer in Germany, and they work very, very well, and they made amazing job with universities. So maybe just to be more flexible. But my main concern here is not the debate between is it EPFL better than France or not? I mean, okay. My question is, we are discussing about models for Africa. Do you think, honestly, that a model made in Switzerland by a very rich country could be applied in Africa? Come on, it's not
No,
possible.
I
Okay.
didn't say that. No. We have to find a model.
I can finish.
Yeah.
You got enough time. So I think the cost of these models, I'm sure these models are very good for countries that are very rich. It's not the case of Morocco. It's not the case of Africa. UM6P is an exception in Morocco. Okay, so if we want to discuss, let's put on the ground real hypothesis of the country. Okay, this is my concern. And Africa also is not monolithic. Morocco is not Algeria, is not Tunisia, is not Libya, is not South Africa. So I was expecting a debate or discussion about Africa. Where is Africa in this debate? I'm sorry, but I don't see.
So the debate is about the models for Africa. So we're trying to see from different perspectives how can this serve African model of university. Thank you. Yes. Go ahead, Jérôme.
Yeah, just so in my contract, I have to fight my French best French every time I can. So it's in my contract. So no, no. There is a lot of good thing everywhere, but for us, and we know that. And I know a lot about Africa, and I see that there is some problems right now with the old French system. And I know that everybody, and he makes some studies in French, and you work in France, and of course, but we don't have to change everything, but we have to move to a new system, and this system has to be from Morocco or from a country in Africa. It's not a question, and I don't want to put my Swiss hybrid system in Africa, of course, because you need lots of money. But I just would like to say that for me, there is lots of very rich country in Africa. But they use money for other things than education. But if you go to RDC Congo, or lots of very rich country, they have. It's not a question of money. It's a question to put money on education and research. And it's not, yeah, really, it's not only a question of course, we have the chance in Switzerland to be a rich country, but there is a lot of country where they can put money because they have money. It's a political choice first. Of course, there is lots of very poor country, of course, but I don't want to say there is only poor country in Africa. No. There are some very rich countries, but you need to move a part of this money to education. It's simple to say. It's very complicated to implement, of course. And I lose your last question or last remarks. Yeah, we answer the question about models, and And for me, one of the point was the beginning of the conference when we spoke about project between people, and I think we need to create some link between very good researcher in Africa, and because it's complicated with a lot of government in Africa, because it's difficult with some university, because it's difficult with some models, even US model if you like. But I think we need to create something from the researcher, from people, and to put some link between a researcher in Morocco and in Angola or in Switzerland, and to build the house from these people, not from the institution, not from the government of this country.
Thank you, Jérôme. Walid and then Imad. Can you just introduce yourself at the beginning, please?
Yes, Walid Al-Mriag, alumnus of Al Akhawain University. Studied also in Dubai, University of Wollongong in Dubai. Now working in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE, in the real estate sector. I have a few questions. There is an important and big gap between practices in companies and organizations and what is being taught in universities. And part of the curricula at universities. How do you make sure that you are tightening the gap between the practices in companies and organizations and what's being taught at universities? Especially in today's fast-changing world with also the fast-changing technologies. Because I myself, I have had a hard time keeping track with all the changes in my industry, not real estate industry, but in communications, marketing, different elements that I'm involved with.
So, yeah, very great question. I think Dr. Sayer will jump in because he started answering that by defining or by giving more details about this liberal arts model. But I think first of all, we should say that we cannot give all the skills to fulfill one job. It's not possible. Otherwise, it will take us 100 years to be sure that for every job and each industry, we will have the right person tailored for this. It can't be. So that's why we should, for me, be more focused on the main skills, like for instance, be a problem solver. What does it mean? And so if you have this skill, you change the industry, you will use the same tools. But I cannot say it will work for the pharmaceutical industry and it won't work for the other industry. This is number one. Number two is in terms of the pedagogical way of doing learning, we have something at UM6P which we call the learning by doing. So we need to put more experimentations at the heart of the learning. I will give you one example. When we have our students just graduated after high school, so they are 17 or 18 years old, they come at UM6P. They have to build a robot. They have never seen a robot before. They don't even know what does it mean really. So they saw it on TV or in a movie, but never. And we gave them just 3 conditions. This robot should carry 5 kilos, 20 kilometers per hour maximum, and 3 turn right and left, and that's it. And we give them that, and we ask them to work with 3 other persons they have never met before. And they have 6 months to do that. So during the 6 months, a lot of failures. So in 10 years or 15 years, for them, the failure is natural. Because in life, we must fail if we want to succeed. The fact that they will learn how to work with some people they don't even know, which is the company. So in 10 years, You will change your job, so you will meet new people, different people, and you have to learn how to work with them. So you have to adapt. We focus more on the skills we need, and that's it. But we cannot say exactly, yeah, I will train someone for some exact job. I think, Dr. Taylor, if you want to jump in.
Absolutely, thank you. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's always been the approach of at least of the liberal arts model, is you're not training for a specific job. You're building critical thinking, the capacity to think outside of your particular area of specialization, to draw inspiration from that. We recognize that today's world of the 21st century has different skills, different needs. And the conversation between industry and the academy needs to be very, very close and ongoing. We believe also, like M6B, in hands-on experience. We're building in co-op experiences, internship experiences. We really do believe in fail early, fail often. Teaching skills, agile skills that are incredibly important for the 21st century. But if you train just for a specific job, that job may be gone in 10, 15 years. You never know, maybe even sooner. There will be other jobs that don't even exist today. And so how do you prepare somebody for a job that doesn't exist in the current world? And that's where we think that by training flexible, agile minds that can cross think of things from many different perspectives, that you prepare people better for the world that they're going to be living in.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. So, Imad, Sibin Sheikh, and yeah, we have more questions. Just go ahead.
Imad Lakim.
You have the microphone. No, sorry. No. Imad.
Oh, it's not.
Sibin Sheikh, and then our friend.
So Imad Lakim, engineer of Pont-et-Chaussée à Paris, and former student of École Normale Supérieure de Cachan. I'm working for a government-funded research center in Abu Dhabi, TII, Technology Innovation Institute, as senior AI researcher. So my question is more to Mr. Khalid and Mr. Hisham. It's about, is the Moroccan economy and industry today able to absorb these skills of the Moroccan diaspora? So is it able to host all those people that are working outside and willing to come back to Morocco? So my personal experience, so a few months ago, I was expecting to come back to Morocco, and as any Moroccan, so the first choice for me it was OCP, and I had some interviews with them, and I was shocked, actually, to be honest, because the skills that I was expecting to work on, so they were different from the offer I got. So they were offering me to work for a factory in Lyon or Bokra, which is completely different from my AI skills. And I feel like, so Morocco is going with two speeds. So the first, so
okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. The answer to the question is yeah. Are you ready? I will talk general and not very specific, and we can take the specific question offline. But the answer to your question is yeah, and we are testing that at the level of university at UM6P. We have 170 faculty so far, and so the third are not Moroccan. The two other thirds are Moroccan, and about 80% of those 2/3 are Moroccan diaspora. And so from people who used to work in Saudi Arabia, here in I think it was in Abu Dhabi or no Dubai, people from the US, from Canada, from Europe. So how have we done to attract them? So it's 2 or 3 main reasons. The first one is the project in itself. So we are, as I said, applied research university. We did a benchmark about how to attract faculty, and the benchmark it was done in Europe, in the US, in Asia, to be sure that we could offer them at least the same condition, if it's more. For the Moroccan diaspora, there is something in addition to that, is the fact that they are very committed to the development of the country, which is for us, which is a huge advantage. Because I asked someone who used to work in Saudi Arabia, and it's, as I said, it's a very young university. So we are still building, we are still acquiring some equipment. So for some guy who needs equipment to do some research, and we are still waiting for the equipment because it takes 6 months because we are in Morocco, we are not in Europe. For the chemical products, it takes 3 months and not 2 hours like in France. I asked him, so why? At some point, I could understand if you told me, yeah, it's 6 months, it's tough. He told me 2 things. The first one is the development of the country. So I'm very committed to give back to Morocco. I spent 20 years of my life here in Morocco, but 30 years outside Morocco. And at some point, I have to give back to Morocco. The second thing is the quality of even our master students. He wasn't able to get this quality because as a faculty, as a researcher, it's a matter of connection between the faculty and the PhD students, the master students. And the quality of this connection is not that, it's not the same. Here, I feel more comfortable. The fact that I'm working with a young or a lady or a young man, a great connection, even intellectual connection with this person, and it's nurturing me. And it's because I'm a full professor, so I did my career, so I don't need. But the fact to this knowledge transfer. Now this is more than the theory because it's what we are doing at the level of MSXP. Now in Morocco in general, for the industry, I don't have the right answer for everyone. I know OCP because myself I'm an OCP guy, I joined OCP in 2013. I'm just now working on UM6P. Yeah, there are some missing occasions, and it's up to OCP to correct that. But I can go deeper. But for you, when you have to apply with.
It's already done.
Also already
actually.
done. Okay. No.
No, it's already. I think. Yeah, here we go. So we'll work by recommendation. Thank you very much, Siben Sheikh. Thank you for joining us. Maybe microphone.
Hello. Yeah. Mustafa Tajuddin.
Sorry, Si Mustafa. Siben Sheikh was before, and then you follow. Just and you're next. You're next. Just after that.
First of all, I would like to thank much the University Mohammed VI for this opportunity in this beautiful building, Moroccan Pavilion in Expo 2020. What have been talked up to now, things that intrigued me. I mean, myself, I'm product of public Moroccan school. I speak English, I speak French, I speak Arabic. I have integrated my administration, and I'm operating. So it's turning back to the topic. What model of African universities? So this depends. I mean, you can correct me, you are experts. But each country has its own specificities. I mean, I cannot just copy a success model or success story in a country and paste it in another country. So North is not South, it's not the center of Africa, it's not West, it's not East. There's many factors interfering. Money first, culture, climate, many things, connectivity to the world, infrastructure. I mean, there have been many ideas, but each idea needs, many conferences to talk. For Morocco, I have been working foreign affairs for more than 28 years, and Morocco is open to Africa, to the Moroccan International Agency, Cooperation Agency, and we have Moroccan universities have formed hundred thousands of students. Many of them are leaders in their countries, even from the Gulf here, and they are successful. It means that Moroccan universities were successful, I mean, in forming those leadership, I mean, these countries. So in each country, I mean, we cannot overgeneralize. I mean, we have 12 regions in Morocco. We have many universities, so they are working hard. There are good people working. There are clever students, clever teachers. They are working night and day. They are very committed to the whole project of Morocco. So Morocco is a benchmark, so we should understand that. And either we are committed to our country or not. So if I come back to the diaspora, because it's my concern much, I was surprised to the number of Moroccans here as CEOs, the responsible leaders, and so on. But they don't come like that to that magnificent city of Dubai, because they have worked hard, I mean, in other places, either in Morocco or outside, I mean, in Europe, in America. And Dubai is very attractive for Moroccans and for others, I mean, from Europe, from America, from everywhere. So that movement of I mean, experts, and it's something, I mean, healthy, and it's something, I mean, very fruitful, because give a chance to development and more measuring your capacity and generating other capacities in favor of humanity. I mean, it's the way we should think. So back to Africa now. Morocco has integrated Union African. I mean, back to Union African. I think there is that commissaire of education. So the first step is to have a network of African universities. And Morocco has done much at that level. So we have success stories in Morocco. Al Akhawain is a success story. University Mohammed VI Polytechnic is also a success story. Euromid is a success story. UAR Rabat is also a success story. So how to make of these stories success stories? Not only in Africa, but also inside Morocco. We have 12 regions. We don't have Al Akhawain everywhere. We don't have, but how to share that success stories with others? That's very important, either in Morocco or outside. It's very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will just build on the last point, which is share, and then we give one example, which is because it's in our DNA. I'm sure that you heard about Lycée d'Excellence. So Lycée d'Excellence, for people who are not aware of this experience, it's a high school, classe préparatoire, and in 5 years, just 5 years, it was ranked like the 6th high school or classe préparatoire in France for filière maths physique at École Polytechnique. So, and number 1, filière TSI. And we have been asked by another foundation, another player in the north, Tangemed. So, and we shared everything with Tangemed. So, Tangemed last September 2021, they opened un lycée d'excellence. They call them lycée méditerranéen, l'IMED au lieu de l'IDEX, based on everything or based on the experience we've developed within in Ben Guerir, and now they have like not the same cahier de charge, because it should be adapted to even the region, because in the north they are not familiar with system classe préparatoire, they are more used to system universitaire, but now they started with the small cohorts, and the same thing with the other school, which is the 1337, the coding school. So the coding school, we have 2 in Morocco, Khouribga and Ben Guerir, funded by OCP Group under the umbrella of UM6P, and we shared everything with them. And next Monday, so the 21st, they will have the first piscine pool. So, and yeah, we shared that. So we are eager, we are open book. So in Morocco, for if there is a foundation that wants to develop a region in Morocco, the east, the south, and they just asked, like has Tangier Med Foundation asked, everything is here. We are, as I said before, a public good university. We are here to enhance or to give the opportunity to everyone to enhance. The same thing with the digital education, where we did for each public university in Morocco now, they have the digital learning lab. So just to be, yeah, this is for me the right way. And what you have said about the networking, yeah, it's a must. This is what we are doing within Reform and other networks.
Thank you. Any other reaction? No, that's fine. We'll take a last question from our friend.
Okay.
Yes. If you can have the microphone.
Mustafa from Khalifa University for Science and Technology. I'm really thrilled to see this Moroccan move from the French model, and it comes really to me as a good news. And it does not, my statement does not imply any belittlement of the French model. It's just, the problem is that the French model has gone through a lot of stagnation and formalism, and this is really, it's going to create a new atmosphere of education in Morocco. I have a question. About the place of liberal arts majors and subjects at your university, because the last international ranking of soft power has actually positioned Morocco in a very good ranking, and I see that as something to be encouraged through those liberal arts subjects, but not in the way we are used to teach them in Morocco, where liberal arts subjects are seen as devoid of scientific content, of critical thinking, and scientific methodology itself. And on the other side, you have students majoring in engineering and sciences, who lack actually some basic qualities of critical thinking. And they don't see that the walls between professions, subjects, are actually porous, and there must be some kind of cross-fertilization between that bridges the gap between these areas. And I hope I can see some encouragement of liberal arts subjects in your university. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I give the floor to Dr. Taylor.
Well, obviously, we are they're at the center of our institution. Every student takes a general ed curriculum, so they study history and philosophy and all kinds of things. Literature, no matter what their major is. So I couldn't agree more with the points the questioner was making. I absolutely, obviously, my life has been dedicated to the liberal arts, and I believe very strongly in them. I do believe that a physicist who studies poetry is a better physicist. I do believe that a chemical engineer who reads literature is a better chemical engineer, simply because I believe that the mind is like a muscle, and if you stretch it in as many ways as possible, that it becomes a more flexible mind, that it's able to think of things that other minds can't, because they've just been rooted into one narrow way of looking at things. So I couldn't agree with you more, and I think it is that the liberal arts will be. I think this is the 21st century was made for the liberal arts were made for the 21st century, and the world we live in today.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, for joining us from IFRAN. Any final word? Conclusion?
Conclusion, no, it's just many thanks for your question. And like Dr. Taylor said, I can't agree more about the fact that we need more and more liberal arts in terms of education, even for our engineering students in the job markets. We need more communication than to answer a question in math, because this is the way it works. So we need to inhale more and more, and to encourage our students to do that. It's our responsibility to offer that, to be aware at the first thing, to be aware of the fact that we need that, and it's not a nice to have, it's a must have. This is the first thing. And from that, offer them the in the curriculum some lectures about that. But you're right.
Jérôme? Closing?
Jérôme, non, c'est bon, il est suisse, c'est bon, il arrête. On arrête.
I can say some word about the French model, no?
If you want some we have a party in a few, so
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you to all. I think Imad, you talked about Laayoun. We get some flavor from Laayoun with the music around. It just started right after you mentioned that, so thank you for doing that. So anyway, thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you for Pavillon Maroc for the organization. We're having our reception at the 7th floor, at the restaurant at the 7th floor, so join us there. There is a visit if you want, while walking to the 7th floor, you can walk with our colleagues here to visit some of the areas if you would like to. But we'll have more time to share some moments at the restaurant. Thank you for coming.